All right, good morning, guys. We have a big show planned today. Tom Homan is giving his first press conference in Minnesota this morning in about 28 minutes. I wanted to live stream that because this is going to be monumental. Tom Homan's going to set the standard for what is going forward in Minneapolis. I don't believe that the previous border, Greg Bovino, did anything wrong. But I do believe for some reason the Democrats are a little more scared of Tom Homan. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's bad. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. We've got about 500 people watching right now. And I put a poll in the chat. Will Minnesota elect a Republican governor? I'd love to know if Minnesota elects a Republican governor. Amy Klobuchar just came out and said she's running for governor. Tim Walz is resigning or not going to run for re-election. Mike Lindell is running for governor in Minnesota. He is a sponsor here on the channel. Let me put his banner up here. So if any of you want to help get a Republican governor in Minnesota, check out mypillow.com/veteran. Longtime sponsor here on the channel. I'm feeling better. I'm still eating the cough drops and, the coffee. The Fisherman's Friends. I think those are the best cough drops. They taste like crap, but man, they work from the top of your head to the bottom of your heart. So make sure you check out the sponsor and let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know. I always like to get an idea of where everyone is watching from. If you were aware of what's going on over the last couple of days, there's real big activity in Fulton County, Georgia. See if I can pull up that clip.
Who is it?
It's me, Dave. Open up, man. I got the stuff.
Dave's not here.
Let's see. Dave's not here. Okay, here we go. In Fulton County, Georgia, apparently, Tulsi Gabbard, you can see her hiding there in the shadows, was at this location. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has been spotted outside the Fulton County, Georgia Election Center during the FBI's raid yesterday. I love the term raid. Tulsi Gabbard has, for a long time, been a critic of what has happened in Georgia. And if this has legs to it, if this has legs with what is going on, I don't know how they go back and reverse anything from a previous election, but this could really change some things. This could change a lot. I'm keeping an eye on when the press conference is starting with Tom Homan, and we will go there as soon as I see Tom take the stage. I've got another window open so we don't miss any of that. Right now, they have Ilhan Omar and the bald chick, Presley, raging about how much they hate Trump and how much they hate Tom Homan. So we'll get there in a second.
FBI agents are going through materials found today during a search of the Fulton County, Georgia election office. That search is said to be related to the 2020 election. Correspondent David Spunt has details tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. FBI agents are still on site at the records warehouse for the Fulton County, Georgia Board of Elections. The matter is sealed before court, meaning details are limited, but we can report this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Sources tell Fox News that agents retrieved documents, phones, and computers after a judge signed a warrant. President Trump has long made Georgia, and specifically Fulton County, a target of his complaints relating to the 2020 election. Shortly after that election, Trump spoke to Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and said he needed 11,780 votes to win the state. At the time, Raffensperger said he felt pressure from Trump and denied any widespread election fraud. He continues to deny it to this day. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis brought state criminal charges against then former President Trump and others in 2023 for conspiracy to overturn the election. But her prosecution, Brett, was eventually derailed completely after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. Now, Brett, Last month, the Justice Department sued Fulton County, Georgia, seeking access to 2020 voting records after state officials allegedly failed to respond to a subpoena. Fox News has learned the head of the FBI's Atlanta field office was recently forced out in recent days, but it's unclear, Brett, if this is all related.
If it's all related. So they fired the head of the field office in Atlanta. That's number one. Number two, they won a case that would allow them access to the records. Tulsi Gabbard is there when the FBI raids the location. And Fox News can't connect those dots that everything's related? Are you joking? Are you literally joking? What are they going to do? Call Arizona for Joe Biden after 4 minutes? Oh, wait, that's exactly what they did. But I don't know about you, but when things like this happened, somebody just put a comment in the chat that really, really catches my eye, because I think you're absolutely right. Somebody said that the pardons could become null and void. That is what I would love to see. I'd love to get your opinion in the chat. If there's one thing that you would like to see reversed that Joe Biden did, would it be the pardons? Would it be some of the executive orders? What would you like to see reversed? I would like my money back from the Inflation Reduction Act. That's what I would like. I would like to see all of the people on the J6 committee targeted. But let me show you this. Look at Tulsi Gabbard right here. She was there at this raid, and I am so glad to see that. For anybody that's, still in the black pill environment of nobody's doing anything or nothing's being accomplished, did you have the FBI raiding the Atlanta election office on your bingo card? You didn't, because the administration has shut down any leaks, which is exactly what needed to happen to really accomplish anything in America. We needed to shut down any leaks. That was probably the biggest obstacle that, oh yes, somebody said void the pardons. Yeah, I agree. What's this super chat? The more pirates we deport, the better chances we get Mike Lindell in office. I don't think you're wrong there either. Speaking of pirates, look at this pirate right here. Let's go right here. Here's a pirate for you. This is happening right now, and I won't subject you to it.
It seems like coming full circle from our federal government, but we are stronger than that. And instead of our federal government wanting to make an example out of Minnesota, instead we have set an example for the nation. We've set the example of how to fight back and how to push back.
Why? I don't know. I don't understand how we allow people not from this country to gain access to office. That's one of the things that I've yet to figure out. I've yet to figure that out. And I'm sure many of you, and this person looks really happy as well, right? Really happy. I'm sure that they're really happy. Did anybody see the footage yesterday that kind of nuked their narrative of Alex Peretti? I'll get to that in just a second. There's something else that I really think is important that you need to see. Donald Trump posted this video he posted this last night. This is absolutely the best. The guy is trolling the left out of the Democrats. And if I was a Democrat that was elected using these ballots out of Georgia, I would be worried. Donald Trump posted this.
These may look like random truck boxes, but Jason, explain to us what is currently happening 10 feet away from us.
Yeah, David, this is a beautiful day. We've been trying to get these ballots, everything from 2020, pretty much since 2020. We've been told time and again, everything was fine. Don't worry about it. Why are you investigating 2020? This happened so many years ago. You know what? If there was nothing to hide, they would have showed us years ago. Now we're going to find out. These trucks are on their way to Virginia. They're going to be out of state very soon, and it is time to get to the bottom of 2020.
So basically, it's about 700 ballot boxes from the 2020 election because,
Yes.
again, this is the Fulton County Election Office. Today, FBI executed a search warrant where they seized essentially those 700 boxes.
Everything.
And now they've officially left. This is the train, as we'll
This is
say,
the
that's
train.
on the way, hopefully, out of Georgia.
In safe keepings.
Exactly. We don't want a judge to suddenly, and real quickly, we'll get to the judge in a second. These are actual people that you know that you've been fighting together with since 2020,
Yes.
trying to make this a possibility. You've been here till the minute that they left, and it seems like they're probably going to follow them to make sure that
Oh yeah.
everything will be fine and secure.
We've
is
got to make sure
everything.
the ballots get there and there are no hiccups.
I think those ballots in those vehicles needed to be escorted with fighter jets, because what's in those trucks could change the course of American history. I think they could change the course of history. They could definitely change the laws that were here. And more importantly, somebody put in the chat, it could get rid of some of these federal judges that were put in place. That would change history in America.
The troubling part about all this is it's not even people who we vote for. When you look at what happened when President Biden had that infamous debate with President Trump, it exposed the reality that many of us have known for a long time, which is that President Biden has not been the guy calling the shots. He has not been the guy making the decisions, nor has it been Kamala Harris, for that matter.
Who was making the decisions? I believe we all know who exactly it was. 200 judges could be removed. Can you imagine how amazing that would be to remove 200 judges? God, boy, oh boy. That could change history. That could change history. Look at this. Let me show you this one. This is something they didn't want to catch on tape.
The only ballot drop box in Cuyahoga County, Ohio. You can see this woman right here casting her vote. Did you vote for Reagan or Jimmy Carter? Carter. Okay. We want to get
Look how many ballots she has.
too personal with people here, but you can see there's actually a traffic.
Do you see how many ballots she had? Look how many ballots.
Carter. Okay.
How many ballots you think that is? 10? 12? 13? You think she's the only one? They cut away from that really quick, didn't they?
Woman right here casting her vote. Did you vote for Reagan or Jimmy Carter? Carter. Okay. We want
So they're joking about Reagan and Carter, but there's 17 or 18 ballots right there. CNN. Yeah, he's just joking about Carter. Wow. They did not want that caught on tape at all. But hey, that's the way that the game is played, right? Or it's the way the game was played. And now, hopefully, they're caught. Hopefully, they're busted. Hopefully, they remove some of these people that got into office fraudulently. That's what I hope. And I'm sure many of you want to see the same thing. All we want is justice. All we want to know is that my vote counts as much as your vote. And we want everybody to have one vote. And we don't want the opportunity to game the system where you're stuffing ballot boxes. Nobody wants that. Well, certain people don't want that. Have you noticed, somebody said here, how quickly that the Democrat Party has crumbled since the USAID money was cut off? That's a good point. That's a really good point. Really solid take there. Let me grab this clip here of Tim Walz. And this guy, I think he's going to be on blast this morning with Tom Homan. That's my guess, and that's what I'm praying for.
You mentioned this fraud investigation and the reason that they're here. Is there anything you think, when you look back, you could have done differently to prevent them from showing up and doing what they're doing here?
No, they were coming anyway. It was all make believe that we'd been at it. Every state had this. And look, I do think there has to be accountability in this. No one in state government was implicated. This happens all over. People did this. We got it caught. We put them in jail or whatever.
You mentioned this fraud investigation and the reason that they're here.
Has Tim Walz put anybody in jail? Has Tim Walz put anyone in jail? I don't think anyone has been arrested by Tim Walz. I'm probably wrong here. For all of you Minnesota voters that are much more aware than I am. But I can't think of any people in Minnesota that have been arrested. I'll tell you, somebody that should be arrested is the mayor, Jacob Frey. He came out and put this on X. The job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce federal immigration laws. I want them preventing homicides, not hunting down a working dad who contributes to Minneapolis and is from Ecuador. It's similar to the policy your guy Rudy had in New York City. Everyone should feel safe calling 911. Donald Trump replied quickly. Surprisingly, Mayor Frey just stated that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws. This is after having a good conversation with him. Can somebody explain in his inner sanctum this statement's very serious violation of law? He's playing with fire. Is Frey trying to provoke Donald Trump? Is he trying to provoke this guy? I don't know about you, but I've got high hopes when this guy's rolling into town this morning. And the press conference will start here in just a few minutes. I've got it ready to roll as soon as it does. Until then, they've just got the raging lunatics outside, all the wackos. But we'll see. And how many of you think Jacob Frey or Tim Walz starting to really break up this flu? Is Jacob Frey inciting a level of violence there in the city? Let's see here. Is Mayor Jacob Frey inciting violence and insurrection? I believe you could make the case that he is. I really believe you could make the case that Jacob Frey is inciting a level of insurrection there. I would tell Frey I want my $9 billion back. Do you think this all started because of the Nick Shirley investigation? Or was it much deeper than that? Josie, thank you very much. Does this go much further than the Nick Shirley investigation? I think it does, but I think the Nick Shirley investigation, his video that had, 200 million views or whatever, I think that could have pushed everything over the finish line. I really think that is what pushed it across the line. Let me show you this. How many of you think that this would be a good idea?
The other thing I would add to what Mike was saying, all his good points, is to go after the banking of anybody that's here illegally. You can sick the compliance officers of all these banks. Instead of them going after American citizens, they can actually debank, and they can be incentivized to do so. That the bank either pays an enormous fine for banking illegals, or they seize those accounts, alert DHS, and the money, part of that money that's been here accumulated while working illegally, can be repatriated to those people once they're back in the country after they pay an exit tax for leaving the United States. These are the things, the whole of government things, that the president must do if he's going to hit the kind of numbers that he campaigned on, that we need to do to preserve our republic.
I think that's exactly what they should do. Is any of these illegals that have bank accounts, just shut down their bank account. I don't know what the comment was about Trump's pumps. I don't know what that is. Nick tore off the scab. I think you're right about that. I believe he absolutely ripped the Band-Aid off of the fraud and kind of humanized it. I believe the information was there, but the way that it was put out, when you see it the way that he presented it, it really resonated more that they were using children for money laundering. And Democrats typically always use the phrase,
Oh, won't somebody please
you know, think of the children, right?
Think of the children. Won't somebody please?
That's typically their go-to. Let me grab this here. I want to show you this before we get into the Tom Homan press conference, which will be starting in just about 6 minutes. There we go. Let me grab this. This is a great clip. Greg Gutfeld just absolutely is a savage when it comes to some of these clowns. I want to show you this. And right now, I mean, he explains this so well.
Nobody asked for this. Nobody put them up to it. They decided to launch this in order to show off what they could do. And now they are in full retreat. If you were one of millions of Americans who protested ICE out of Minneapolis, you should know tonight you are winning this thing.
You are winning. Winning what exactly? Who are you rooting for? More dead people? From her comfortably warm and secure studio, she applauds the chaos that caused 2 deaths, which was the point all along. Create chaos, leading to tragedy, which causes more chaos. And Rachel's numbers will go up. But why isn't she out there leading the charge? Instead of home ripping phone books in half to maintain forearm strength. I guess it's just better for others to risk their lives doing stupid that drives her ratings up. She's a modern day Eddie Haskell, egging her friend to eat the Tide Pods while she films it for her show. That's been her MO for years, as well as maintaining her eerie resemblance to Mannix. But we are different people now. We've seen this before. They take a short-term position that guarantees long-term harm. Then they blame us when it goes bad. But we're done. They follow the same pathetic playbook so many times. Cleaning up their messes is now what we do best. So they can either grab a mop, and help, or they can off.
I mean, he brings up a good point. Rachel Maddow says Madcow says they're winning. If winning is getting people killed, if winning is destroying a city, what does losing look like? What would it take for the Democrat Party to say they're losing? How does that happen? I've still yet to understand why it comes down to winning and losing. I want what's best for America. Somebody said nobody's winning. You're absolutely right. I want it to come down to what's best for America. Ashley, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Go to the community post tab and you can get into the private chat. We've got the press conference starting here very soon. It's right here. So we'll be going live here as soon as the press conference starts with Tom Homan. But the Democrat Party, everything is about winning and losing. And right now, says Ben, manners and morals and boundaries are dead forever. You could be right. I don't know what the Democrat Party considers winning. And when did winning begin with protecting people that shouldn't be in our country? This Alex Preddy, they've delivered this guy as this nurse, this VA nurse. They haven't said anything about Laken Riley that was a nursing student. It's still about get Trump, D. Blanche. Yeah, you're probably right. You are. I guess that they think they can get Trump by protecting illegals. Is that their method? I mean, is that all they've got to get Trump with illegals? The border's shut. The border is shut. The border's secure, but yet somehow or another, Democrats believe that they're going to get Trump by protecting other illegals. The great replacement theory is in full effect. Trump said that he was the only thing standing in the way of them and us, or, us versus them. And I the more that I see that's happening, I think it's more and more clear that it is an us versus them mentality that's not getting any better. I think the political divide, I don't know if the political divide's ever been this bad, ever. And maybe one of the only ways to fix this is the SAVE Act. And John Thune has been, I would say he's been a bit of a loser on this. People have been begging for him to bring this to the floor. It made it through Congress last April.
Repeatedly urged the passing of the SAVE Act, as well as many MAGA Republicans. What is the holdup in the Senate? Why hasn't that been brought to the floor for a vote? And what's your stance on requiring improvement citizenship vote and legislation?
Well, I'm for that. I've co-sponsored the SAVE Act in the past. I think my understanding is that they are still modifying the bill. It includes right now a requirement that you be a citizen to register to vote, but it doesn't include a requirement that to vote you be a resident. So in other words, if you're going to have what we call voter ID or photo ID when somebody goes into the ballot box to vote, that's not currently covered in the bill. So that's being fixed and addressed, and I think the new bill that comes out hopefully will deal with that. But I mean, at some point we'll have that vote. I'm for it. I think most of our colleagues in the Senate are, and I don't, it hasn't had consideration in the relevant committee yet. But I know there's a high level of interest among our members in getting a vote on SAVE Act.
What do you think about this? Do we have to pass the SAVE Act? I think so. Oh, yeah, man. I got one of the troll comments already. Let me go ahead and man, people will take anything you say and twist this. Brent, tell the 600,000 plus that died in a civil war if this is the most divided we've been. Politically, in the last 100 years, we have never been more divided than we are now. Brent, I really appreciate you taking that so literal as far as the Civil War. I really appreciate that. I never knew the trolls woke up this early, but man, they're up. They're in full force. Very full force. Let's go here. I think this press conference is about to start. When it does start, I'll shut up and I'll put some comments on the screen here for you guys. Man, we got some real angry people. I love it. I never realized so many people were so pissed off in the morning. Get laid, man. Good God. So many. And then people accuse me of being mean. Good God. Whoo. Yeah, anyway. But I am a firm believer we need to get the SAVE Act passed. I believe that John Thune is not a great Senate majority leader. Let's do this. Do you think they pass the SAVE Act before the midterms? I believe if they don't, Trump will go and campaign directly against them. That's what I believe. I believe that they will absolutely go. Trump will go into these battleground states and campaign against them. Oh, God. I love it. See, all I have to do is point out the trolls and then the people in the chat take care of it. It's the best. Trump has the nuclear option. I don't believe he does. We don't have we've got to get rid of the filibuster. Would you go on Rogan? I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I do like cigars. Rogan would never have me. Because I don't think I could tolerate some of his BS. Ben was the off the leash pit bull in the submarine. I was the nice guy on submarines. You think I'm mean? You should have met some of the A-gangers that I worked with. Some of the A-gang chief. I remember this guy's name. It was Chief Lewis. That guy was a freaking rabid pit bull. He was the best, probably the best A-gang chief I ever worked with. If you know what A-gang is, you've been in the Navy. So there you go. But do you think we get the SAVE Act passed before the midterms? I think we should. I don't know if we will. Let's go here. Let me show you this. This is Bill O'Reilly going off. Bill O'Reilly. I don't know what's wrong with Bill. Apparently he's got some health problems. I like Bill O'Reilly a lot. Now he's been off Fox News. I think he's a little more watchable.
When you have a situation where there's passion and chaos and violence, people are going to get hurt. And I have said, as I just mentioned, got to bring it down. And it's the responsibility of the federal government to bring it down. But if you're going to sit there and tell News Nation viewers that Fry is providing local protection for federal agents,
I never said that.
And you're misleading your audience.
I never said that.
They are not.
I explained why he said
yes, you
no.
are. Oh, Fry didn't say that.
No, I'm not.
You just told me. Oh, Fry didn't say that.
I just had his quote up on the screen. I just had the quote up on the screen, Bill. It says exactly what I said.
Resources.
Bill.
Hold it. Resources is a code. They're not providing protection for the federal agents. Fry knows it. He's a punk, okay? Trump went out of his way to talk to him. And according to Trump, Fry, they came to detente. And then the next day, Fry goes out and says, blank you again. He's a punk.
You can't.
And I am going to predict right now that down the road, he's going to be charged. Fry is going to be charged.
With what?
Okay.
Not liking Trump? What's he going to be charged with?
Insurrection Act.
Look,
Absolutely.
The Insurrection Act, look, they may charge it with them, but it's because they have absolutely no respect for the Constitution or the administration of justice. But the idea that this is an insurrection, just read the act, Bill. It's not even a close call. You would fail out of law school.
What do you think about this? I think it's amazing to see Bill O'Reilly absolutely shred Fredo. I love watching him shred Fredo. Let me grab this. This is the best. I'm going to go right here. We've got to get ready for what's going on here with Tom Homan.
I've been doing a lot of research into the deployment of CBP agents into urban areas. And now I understand in this case, we have CBP there to help with this Operation Metro Surge.
Okay, so they're just talking here until Tom Homan comes out. Once Tom Homan comes out, hopefully they shut up. Let's see here. 1,000 U.S. Marines. I agree. I say send them 5,000 Marines. 10,000. 20,000 Marines. Send in the whole damn Marine Corps. But I'll tell you this. If it's this tough in Minneapolis, how bad is it going to be in Seattle? How bad is it going to be in Portland? How bad is it going to be in St. Louis? And how dare I say Chicago? How bad could it be in Chicago? Because we know Chicago is dangerous. I'm talking dangerous with all of the clowns that are there. If you think Minneapolis was dangerous, because these are just all of the blue-haired people with the nose rings. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would Chicago be? Because that's where the Tren de Aragua gangs are. And those are the gangs that they just don't care. They chop people up with chainsaws. They don't care. Scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you think it'll be in Chicago? I'm going to give Chicago an 11 because of all the gangs. I don't think they have the level of gang violence. Somebody said 20. I agree with that. I believe Chicago will be the worst. Somebody said, thank you for bringing the Boom Shakalaka Daily. You know what? We haven't done that yet. Let's go ahead and do it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We haven't done that yet.
And can an amen and a boom shakalaka go right there?
Well, yes, it can. A boom shakalaka can definitely go right there. And thank you, Dina. We'll go as soon as we got Tom Homan on stage, we'll go live right there. But Minneapolis is a lot of white liberals, blue hair, nose rings, holding their pumpkin spice lattes, their mocha chocolatas. They're all wearing their Patagonia jackets. They've got on their Columbia beanie hats. They've got their soy milk lattes with extra froth and sprinkles. But I think if you get into the real inner cities, when you get into Chicago, when you get into St. Louis, it's going to go to New York as well. It's going to go to New York. Mamdani has radicalized New York City. He's now saying that they're broke. He's telling people of New York City, the city is broke and we need more money. Look at this. The guy is an absolute. Listen to what he says right here.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And it means recalibrating the relationship with the state.
Recalibrating the relationship with the state. That means raising your taxes. That's what that means. Mamdani just said that what's happening in New York is worse than the Great Recession. And it's really strange seeing three people on stage that none are American. These guys don't look American. This guy buys and sells goats. This guy buys and sells camels. This guy buys and sells but there's no telling what he buys and sells. What is going on with these people? This is insane. But they're about to raise taxes in New York City. And they're going to go to the governor and tell them they need more money. New York City, I believe, is a sanctuary city. I believe they should cut off all funding. Tomorrow, if you're not aware, the government shuts down. They are not going to pass a continuing resolution tonight. The government will be shut down. The people in New York City, are they going to get what they deserve or what they voted for? Let's put that in the poll. Let's do this. Does New York City have to be the example of socialism? Because I think it's going to be. I think New York City is going to be the example. And Democrats did it to themselves. You're absolutely right, Peter. Democrats are trapped again. For anybody that says Trump backed down, I don't think he backed down. I think that he's allowed them to fail. If you've ever had a friend that was an alcoholic or a druggie, I saw the world on a bar stool. Nobody wants help until they reached absolute rock bottom. Rock bottom is the only way that you actually get help. And I think New York City, I don't think it's, you're absolutely right, Greg, got to hit rock bottom. I don't think New York City's hit rock bottom yet. I don't think Minneapolis has hit rock bottom yet. I saw the world bottom of beer glass. Yeah, man, I was on every bar stool around the world. Probably one of the craziest places was a bar in Portugal. There was like 20 midget strippers in Portugal. I'll never forget it. Looks like Tom Homan's about to roll in here. Here comes the cavalry. Ben was Norm on Cheers. Sadly, you're right. Sadly, you are absolutely right. Let's do this in the chat. We got a poll here in the chat. Does New York City have to be an example of socialism? They picked the largest, most popular city in America to play with an experiment. Let me ask you this. Will Tom Homan fix Minnesota? And what do you even think fixing Minnesota means? In the chat, what would you consider Minnesota is fixed? Get rid of all of them? Have them self-deport? Somebody's been sober 3 years. Congratulations. That's great. I think that's Trisha McLaughlin back there. You don't think Homan can fix it by himself? Do you think Homan's going to rely on the military? I think to fix Minnesota, number one, you've got to get rid of the Democrat governor. Eidolon, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Get them all the hell out. I think you have to get rid of the Democrat governor. I don't know if you will ever elect a Republican mayor in Minneapolis. I don't believe you will ever get a Republican mayor there. So I think that's off the table. I think you have to replace the chief of police. If you could remove the mayor, I think they would have a special election and then just put another Democrat mayor back in. But I think you have to get rid of a Democrat governor. Oh, I see some ICE agents right there, armed. I don't think they're going to allow any little funny business. I don't believe anybody's going to be squirting anything on Tom Homan. I firmly believe that the chief of police has to go. I think he's a limp-wristed loser. I think he's been a loser the entire time. You get rid of the governor, you put a Republican governor in place. I think Mike Lindell would be absolutely amazing for that. Oh, gosh. Let's hear what this clown's saying.
Brandished a weapon. Then, of course, Homeland and other committees got a report yesterday from CBP saying nothing about brandishing a weapon, just saying someone shot a gun. I mean, what do you make of these
I
inconsistencies?
think for people to have confidence in government and confidence in the law enforcement we have government, we have to be very honest. And I don't think it's honest to say he brandished a weapon. I don't think it's honest to say he assaulted officers. Every American's seen this video now, and most have. It's snowed in for 3 days. A lot of people have seen this video. At every point in the video, he retreats. Now, I'm not saying he might not have been obnoxious. I'm not saying he might have said obnoxious things, but he films. He doesn't even obstruct the traffic. He waves a car through in the middle of this. As they approach him, he retreats. As they approach him again, he retreats. When a woman is shoved to the ground, he goes to help her up, and that's when he is grabbed from behind. At no point in time do I see an assault. And I don't think anybody in America believes he was assaulting those officers. So we have to tell the truth. And I think that at this point, because there hasn't been this honest approach to things, I think what you're going to have is an independent investigation. Because look, I am for ICE getting dangerous criminals out of our city. I suspect even in Boston, when they rounded up 25 rapists, people committing assault, people accused or convicted of murder, even Boston, a left-wing Democrat city, probably said, we're kind of glad they're gone. So I'm not for getting rid of ICE. I am for restoring trust in ICE. And the way you restore trust in ICE is immediately have an independent commission. And I'm not even talking about something that is assessing the behavior beyond is it an appropriate use of force and what is our policy moving?
She's a complete failure on a disaster response. There's no comparison between his Homeland Security in President Trump's first term and this one.
Do you notice how they go and they grab the most radical Republicans? They've got Tom Tillis and Rand Paul. Kentucky is screwed.
They're asleep at the switch.
Kentucky is cooked. If you think Kentucky is cooked, yes or no in the chat. 1, they are screwed. 2, everything's amazing. Kentucky has Andy Beshear as a governor. They've got Mitch McConnell as a senator. They have Rand Paul as a senator. You've got Thomas Massey. And you've got James Comer. Kentucky is screwed. Somebody says Kentucky has been cooked for decades. Kentucky, come on, do better. We're waiting on Tom Hope. There might very well be something going on behind the scenes. See what they're saying here.
It's Josh Breslow, and I'll be here for the next several hours as we break down a lot of news and live events on this Thursday.
Okay, so we're just waiting on Tom Homan to come here for this press conference. There very well could be something going on behind the scenes, maybe some protest. There's no telling, right? I don't put anything past these people. The sun shines bright in my old Kentucky home. Good luck with that one. Let me ask you this. Now, this is a big what if. What if Tom Homan just walks out and drops the Insurrection Act? What if Tom Homan walks out and just says, just got off the phone with the president, Insurrection Act now? I mean, this could be, why wouldn't this happen? Here we go. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Actions coming in from her announcement here. This has been rumored, though, for weeks, almost immediately after Governor Tim Walz dropped out of the race. Here's a snippet of her video launching her campaign just this morning.
Minnesota built this nation. We are bold about doing big things. We mined the ore that won World War II. We invented everything from the pacemaker to the...
And, of course, there
Here we
is
go.
Tom Homan. Let's look
Here
at
we
the
go.
audio.
Good morning. Too early, isn't it? Look, I've been given talking points, and I don't like reading speeches, never have. But my chief of staff did put some stuff down here in writing just to make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm going to be reading a little bit, and then we're going to open up for questions. I've been on the ground less than 3 full days. I got in here Monday. President of the United States called me Monday morning and asked me to deploy here. Got here Monday evening, and I'm staying till the problem's gone. But we've made a lot of progress in the last 3 days. Marcos Charles, he's running ICE operations here. There you go. Rodney Scott, Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, standing here beside me. Good morning, I'm Tom Homan, the Border Czar for President Trump. I'm here on behalf of the President, along with U.S. Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Rodney Scott, and Marcos Charles, who's leading the enforcement effort here right now. I've been on the ground since Monday to regain law and order in the city beloved by many, and work together to remove threats from the community. During the past administration, we'll all remember, more than 10 million illegal aliens entered this nation. Many were national security threats, public safety threats. We can't remember over 2 million known gotaways. 2 million people who paid more to get away. Why? That should scare the hell out of everybody. President Trump promised American people, including the residents of Minnesota, that he would work to ensure our communities are safe. And with that, this administration has absolutely focused on identifying removal aliens that pose a public safety threat and national security threats. And the numbers prove it. The data proves it. In the past few days, I've met with Governor Walz, Attorney General Ellison, Mayor Fry, numerous police chiefs and sheriffs, and I have more to meet. I'll also be continue the dialogue with business and religious leaders in partnership with Minnesota, your community leaders. I'll be meeting with them too, because I want to hear what they have to say. In my meetings with folks so far, and most importantly, the governor and the AG, the Mayor Fry, we didn't agree on everything. I didn't expect to agree on anything. I've heard many people want to know why we're talking to people who they don't consider friends in administration. Bottom line is you can't fix problems if you don't have discussions. I didn't come to Minnesota for photo ops or headlines. You haven't seen me. I came here to seek solutions, and that's what we're going to do. And we've come a long way, and we got some good wins for the people of Minnesota, I think, and for the administration and for the safety security of this city. One thing we did agree on, though, everybody I talked to agreed on, was that community safety is paramount. One thing we all agreed on was U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement is a legitimate law enforcement agency that has a duty to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and keep this community safe. Like I've said many times for the last several years, even before this administration, jurisdictions that refuse to cooperate with federal immigration authorities are sanctuaries for criminals. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals and endangers the residents of the community. To be clear, we did not agree with Minnesota state and local officials that they would be involved in immigration enforcement. I didn't ask them to be immigration officers. I'm asking them to be cops working with the cops to help us take criminal aliens off the street. What we did agree upon is not to release public safety arrests back in the community when they could be lawfully transferred to ICE. I'll speak more about that. I will highlight that the Minnesota State Prison System under the Department of Corrections have been honoring ICE detainers. And we appreciate that important collaboration, and we're going to expand upon that. That decision has made Minnesota safer, not only for residents of Minnesota, but the men and women law enforcement, not just ICE, all law enforcement. Rather than arresting the same public safety threat, significant public safety threat over and over again, they agree to work with us to identify those people and remove them. I'm also pleased to announce I had a very good meeting with Attorney General Ellison, and he has clarified for me that county jails may notify ICE of the release dates of criminal public safety risks so ICE can take custody of them upon the release from the jail. And let me tell you why that's important. I know people are a lot concerned about the manpower has been set in law enforcement manpower. Look, I've said this many times before. I've said it for the last several years. Give us access to the illegal alien public safety threat and the safety and security of a jail. It's common sense. It's safer for the community, it's safer for the agent, and it's safer for the alien. Because anything can happen on a street arrest. It just makes common sense. And for the people that argue, well, we're a welcoming community because we want victims and witnesses of crime that are here illegally to feel safe to come to police without fear they're working with ICE, we're not going to talk to the victim and witness of crime. There's no problem there. They should feel safe to come to the police and ask for help. All we want is to talk to the person that local and state law enforcement authorities locked in a jail cell. They chose to lock this person up. That's who we want to talk to, the public safety threat. So the argument is that protects victim witnesses of crime. It's a bunch of crap. Victims and witnesses of crime don't want the bad guy back in their neighborhood either. So great progress with there with the Attorney General and local sheriffs. And one thing, when we have these agreements, it takes less law enforcement agents to do the job. One agent can arrest one bad guy in the safety and security of a jail where he's behind the wire. We know we don't have weapons. But when you normally release that public safety threat, illegal alien back in the community, we have a job to do. We're going to arrest them. So we're going to find them. And what happens is now we got to arrest somebody on his turf. We have access to who knows what weapons. Now we got to send the whole team out. Cover the back door, cover the front door, officer safety reason. Then because of the hateful rhetoric and the attacks on ICE officers, now we got to send a security team behind the arrest team. So what could have been done with one person in safety and security jail, now we got 15, 16 people out there doing it. I know that causes stress in the community. So if we get these agreements in place, that means less agents on the street. More agents in the jail means less agents in the street. This is common sense cooperation that allows us to draw down on the number of people we have here. Yes, I said it, draw down the number of people here. Because we have the efficiency and safety of the jails and the prison. Matter of fact, I have staff from CBP and from ICE working on a draw-down plan. What does that look like based on the cooperation? What does that look like based on how many targets we have left to find? In my meetings with Governor Walz, AG Ellison, and Mayor Fry, as well as state and local law enforcement, again, I appreciate they all acknowledge that we do have federal immigration laws in this country that have been passed by Congress, and that ICE is in fact a legitimate law enforcement agency charged with enforcing those laws. We're not making this up, folks. ICE is enforcing laws enacted by Congress. They're a federal statute. That said, I'm not here because the federal government has carried this mission out perfectly. First thing I said to senior staff when I walked in here is what I told you earlier. I didn't come here looking for photo ops or headlines. I come here looking for solutions. I do not want to hear that everything's been done here has been perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, and anything can be improved on. And what we've been working on is making this operation safer, more efficient, by the book. The mission is going to improve because of the changes we're making internally. No agency or organization is perfect. President Trump and I, along with others in the administration, have recognized that certain improvements could and should be made. That's exactly what I'm doing here. As such, in meetings I've had with federal law enforcement managers, including ICE and CBP and other federal partners, as well as state and local officials, I have conveyed the President's expectations with regard to federal immigration enforcement efforts. We will conduct targeted enforcement operations. Targeted. What we've done for decades. When we hit the streets, we know exactly who we're looking for. Good idea where we may find them. You have a criminal history. You have their immigration history. A lot of information about this person that we get from numerous databases out there. Targeted, strategic enforcement operations. That's traditionally been the case, and that's where we're going. That's what we're going to continue to do and improve upon that. With a prioritization on public safety threats. I want to be clear. I don't read a lot of social media. I don't read a lot of media. I don't believe half what I see. We are not surrendering the president's mission on immigration enforcement. Let's make that clear. Prioritization of criminal aliens doesn't mean that we forget about everybody else. That's just simply ridiculous. But when you have a criminal standing here and a non-criminal standing there, that criminal always should be targeted first because he's a significant concern to the safety and security of the community. By at large for decades, ICE and CBP have carried out their duties with integrity, professionalism, and compassion. That remains the expectation under President Trump, and I will hold our agents and officers to that standard. I'm almost done, and Tom can be Tom. As far as the agitators, that said, I want to reiterate and make very clear. I want to make it clear, ICE and CBP officers are performing their duties in a challenging environment under tremendous circumstances, but they're trying to do it with professionalism. If they don't, they'll be dealt with. Like any other federal agency, we have standards of conduct. They are sworn law enforcement officers working tirelessly to enforce our country's border security and immigration laws, protecting the interests of our country and preventing dangerous people from walking the streets of this nation when they're not supposed to be here to begin with. Men and women of ICE, I was a Border Patrol agent. I was an ICE agent. I was the first ICE director that came up through the ranks. I spent over 40 years doing this. These men and women that carry that badge and gun are American patriots. They put themselves on the line for this nation every day. But I want you to remember, they don't hang their badge. They don't hang their heart on a hook every day they come to work. They're mothers and fathers too. They're sons and daughters too. And if they've seen a fraction of the tragedies I've seen in my career, they take a lot of damage home to every day. The things they've seen, especially on the border with Border Patrol agents. People drowning in the river, women being raped by criminal cartels, giving CPR to a baby that was thrown in the river by the cartels because Border Patrol came too close. So let's throw the baby in the river. That way the Border Patrol was concentrating on that so I can get away. These men and women see some terrible things. But I want you to remember, they're mothers and fathers too. Many of them are members of this community. God bless every one of them. The hostile rhetoric and dangerous threats and hate must stop. And we all agreed to that. All everybody met here today, tell you, we got to stop the rhetoric, the hateful rhetoric that has caused an increase in assaults. That has caused, because of that, have to send security teams out with arrest teams, which surge the city with additional resources because of the rhetoric, because of the threats, because of the assaults. Again, with the agreements we've achieved and following through the agreements, with the rhetoric dropping down, that allows us to pull more agents out once we feel the environment safer. I begged for the last 2 months on TV for the rhetoric to stop. I said in March, if the rhetoric didn't stop, there's going to be bloodshed. And there has been. I wish I wasn't right. I don't want to see anybody die. Not officers, not members of the community, and not the targets of our operations. For the people out there who don't like what ICE is doing, if you want certain laws reformed, then take it up with Congress. Again, ICE is making this up. They're enforcing laws enacted by Congress and signed by the president. The same laws have been on the books for the last 6 presidents I worked for. I started with President Reagan and ending with President Trump. Every administration, we enforce the same laws. If you don't like what ICE is doing, instead of protesting this building, go protest Congress. Tell me you want changes. You have your First Amendment rights, I support that. You have the right to protest. I'm just asking you to keep it peaceful. But threatening law enforcement officers, engaging in impeding and obstruction and assault is never okay. And there will be zero tolerance. You interfere, impede, assault ICE officers, you will be arrested. Like I said a bit earlier in my meetings with Governor Walton Ellison and Frey, as well as state and local law enforcement, I appreciate they acknowledge this, that public safety should be paramount. The chiefs I've talked to committed to responding to 911 calls when Protesters turn violent. Agents are in a dangerous situation, and there's assaults. They have committed to upholding public safety and responding to the needs, not to enforce immigration law, but to keep the peace. With that, I call upon those officials to stand shoulder to shoulder with us to tone down the dangerous rhetoric and condemn all unlawful action against law enforcement in the community. There are many ways your voice can be heard, express your feelings, and affect change in the country without crossing that line. Political and other disagreements in this realm should not be at the expense of public safety or the safety of federal law enforcement officers. In closing, I want to thank the state and local officials here in Minnesota that I met with and the many I'm going to meet with. We've had meaningful dialogue. And look, again, we didn't agree on everything, but we agreed on the things I just talked about. There's much more we can do. And I'm going to continue those dialogues. I got many more community leaders to talk to. I got many more sheriffs to meet. President Trump wants this fixed, and I'm going to fix it with your help. I want to thank President Trump for his unwavering commitment to public safety and prosperity of every American. Under the President's leadership, we have the most secure border in the history of this nation, which means less women are being raped, less children are dying crossing that border, less fentanyl is getting in this country to kill Americans, less known suspected terrorists are crossing that country. And we don't have 2 million unknown gotaways. We don't know who the hell they are. A secure border, we have stronger national security. A secure border saves lives. When 96% less people come in, how many women aren't being sexually assaulted by members of the cartel? How many people aren't dying making that journey? How many Americans aren't dying of fentanyl overdoses? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked in this nation? The data proves it. Anybody can find that data. So God bless this great nation. God bless Minnesota. We can do better. And I think your local and state leaders meeting with me, we made some significant gains, significant coordination and cooperation, and you're going to see some massive changes occurring here in this city. Thank you.
Can you clarify Mr. Holman's engagement on?
Hold on, right here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Homan, Jolanda Delorto with the Associated Press. Based on how you have described these changes in the mission, can you be more specific about the objectives of Operation Metro Surge? If what you have described changes the parameters for interior enforcement only in Minnesota or also in Maine and other places? And finally, when would you consider that those objectives will be achieved and this operation will end? Or is it in terms of agents on the ground, in terms of who you're targeting for arrests?
The withdrawal of law enforcement resources here is dependent upon cooperation. Like I said, one agent arresting one bad guy in the jail means less agents on the street. We have some agreements. We got more to talk about how we're going to implement those agreements. But as we see that cooperation happen, then the redeployment will happen. Look, target enforcement operations should happen across the nation. That's what we've done for decades. And with target enforcement operations, I've done many of them. It just makes it safer for everybody. When we know exactly what we're looking for, what is his criminal history, what is his immigration history, where's he live, is he in an apartment complex versus a house, has he got a known record for having weapons, it's safer for everybody. Then we know what type of resources we need to go. And, it just makes this operation cleaner, more efficient, and it's proven less violence when we know exactly what we're getting into and we can take the necessary precautions to keep everybody safe. Some of the operations that I've been involved in, we know there's children in the house based on surveillance. So we know you got to be a little bit different when you go into the house because there's going to be children present. So target enforcement operations, the way we've always done it, I think we got away from a little bit. And we're going to make sure we do target enforcement operations. And look, and I will say it again, we are not surrendering our mission at all. We're just doing it smarter.
Shimon Prokopez from CNN. Mr. Homan, how did we get here in terms of you had Greg Bovino, who was the face of this immigration operation. The mission, as you say, to having border patrol agents in the interior of this country, stopping U.S. citizens, asking them for ID, creating this fear in places like Chicago and now here. And then finally, it took really the death of Alex Petty for us to get here. How did that happen? Who made the decisions to allow this kind of operation to proceed in this way and to create such fear?
Well, look, the Border Patrol, last 4 years under Joe Biden, we had an open border where 10, 12,000 people a day are coming across the border. Border Patrol got overwhelmed, which means we sent thousands of ICE agents down there to help deal with that humanitarian crisis, to help secure the border. Now we have millions of people released in this nation, many unvetted. Now we got to find them. Before the big, beautiful bill, we had a total just under 5,000 deportation officers to look for millions of people, many in public safety threats. So yes, we needed Border Patrol to come and help on our mission now. And reason for the massive deployment is because of the threats, because of the violence. Our officers need to be protected. If I'm on an operation, an arrest team, I'm going to a house, I got to be busy with that guy, the dangerous guy, and I can't keep looking over my shoulder at what's happening outside the house. So we brought extra resources in to provide that security. And as I said, as we drill down on these great agreements we got and this great understanding we have means less. So we can draw down those resources. When the violence decreases, we can draw down those resources. But based on the discussions I've had with the governor and the AG, we can start drawing down those resources as far as those looking for public safety threats being released and do it in the jail with much less people. So the drawdown is going to happen based on these agreements. But the drawdown can happen even more if the hateful rhetoric and the impediment and interference will stop. So Border Patrol, I was a Border Patrol agent. These men and women are patriots. God bless them. They're here to help us. And the drawdown will come soon, depending on when this actually, I see this in play. But the agreements have alone is going to cause a significant drawdown. So you're going to see a drawdown.
Just on a personal, you've been doing this for 40 years. Just a
Tom Homan.
follow-up.
Ben, go ahead.
First off, Ben Burkbaum, Real America's Voice News. On behalf of the American people, I just want to say thank you to you and to all of the agents that are putting their lives on the line to go after the people that were allowed in the last administration. We watched that happen in the media, the honest media, covered up by many of the media that are behind me. We want to say thank you, and to all the men and women that are out there. Can you talk to us about what's being done with the leadership on these signal chats, on these WhatsApp chats that are organizing the attacks against you, the obstruction against you? Are we going to be arresting those individuals as well? And to the folks out there in America that voted for this, that want mass deportations because they saw a mass invasion under Joe Biden, what would you say to them? How are we going to get to that point?
Well, first of all, about the organization and the funding of the attacks on ICE. I'm not going to answer a lot about that because I'm not going to show our hand, but they'll be held accountable. Justice is coming. Again, we got to all remember why the questions we've seen and why we're here. What started this? 4 years of an open border where millions of people are in this country unvetted. Remember, let's not forget, for 4 years, we were told the border secure. 4 years, we were told the border secure. And we all knew it wasn't. And I want this to be a positive thing we're doing here today. I also want to remember the politicians are continually attacking us. Where were they the last 4 years when the number of women and children sex trafficking went all-time high? Where were they when 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl coming across the border? Where were they when women and children are dying making that journey? Where were they where over 4,000 families making that journey died? Historic record. Where were they? Not a word. Now we're just trying to respond to what happened the last 4 years. in keeping this country safe. And we're arresting a lot of public safety threats, take them off the streets, which make this country safer. President Trump promised to make this country safe again, and that's what we're doing. But my 2.5 days up here, we made a lot of progress. I think everybody agrees on the criminal and public safety threats. They agree it's much safer and easier to arrest an alien in a facility than send a whole team out in the field that's going to draw anger, because now we got to send a bunch of people to do something that could have been done by 1 or 2 people. And I've said this for years. I have no ill will to anybody in Minnesota. All the people I talk to, we're never going to agree on everything. We have different philosophies and different opinions on immigration, but we all agree this is a way to go to reduce safety, reduce crime, not reduce safety, reduce crime and increase safety for our operations. More people in the jail means less people on the street. It's simple math.
Right here, sir. Lana Zach, CBS News. Everybody I've spoken with agrees that if somebody has a violent criminal history and is a fugitive, they don't want them as their neighbor. But when you're talking about a targeted operation, and are you talking about targeting people whose crime is coming to this country, or is it a more specific definition now?
All operations will be targeted, but the prioritization are going to be criminal aliens, public safety threats, and national security threats. I've met with Marcos and his staff. We got a lot of them. We got a lot of them to keep us busy. So that would be our focus.
But that is enough that's what, there is not going to be a focus on people who have no other crimes except for their status.
If you're in the country illegally, you're never off the table. But prioritization doesn't mean you forget about everybody. So let me say this. If the message we send is you can enter this country illegally, it's a crime, don't worry about it. You can have your due process, show up in court, not show up in court, get ordered moved, don't worry about it. Unless you commit a serious crime, you're good to go. If that's the message we send to the world, you're never going to fix this problem. The most vulnerable people in the world will make that dangerous journey like they did under the Joe Biden administration. Over 4,000 aliens died making that journey. And again, a significant increase in sex trafficking, because when they did that and opened those borders up saying, we're not going to detain you, we're going to give you free health care, we're going to fly you to the city of your choice, put you in a free hotel room, give you 3 meals a day, and give you work authorization, we're just going to bring you in. And when they did that, they sent a message to the whole world, you can come and do this. And what happened? They overwhelmed the men and women of the Border Patrol, where many days 70% of agents were pulled off that line. 70%. You don't think the criminal cars had a field day with that? They created gaps for the cartels do their activity. And that's why you've seen the rise in fentanyl overdose. That's why you saw the rise in sex trafficking. The 2 million plus known gotaways, why did they pay more to get away? Why didn't they pay less? Turn yourself in, get released within 24 hours. You get a free airline ticket to the city of your choice. We're going to give you a free hotel room, and we'll give you free food and free medical care. And you're going to get work authorization in 6 months. Why did 2 million people choose to pay more not to take advantage of that giveaway program? They didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. That scares the hell out of me. And it does still. The Trump administration with ICE and Secretary Noem and Marco Rubio and the intelligence community, Tulsi Gabbard, we're all working together to try to identify who these people are. And we've already found many of them. But it's hard work to do. But there are national security threats walking this nation because of the last administration. And they are one of our main priorities, too.
Thank you. Can you please be specific about how many ICE and how many Border Patrol agents are currently operating in the state?
I think we're near 3,000. There's been some rotations. Another thing I witnessed when I came here, I'll share this with you. I met with a lot of people, a lot of the agents. They've been in theater. Some of these people have been in theater for 8 months. So there's going to be rotations of personnel. Hopefully less now that we have some agreements. Maybe we can make it more efficient and safe. But they've been in theater a long time. And so, there's rotations happen all the time to get people out here and go home, get some rest and see their families. Day after day, you can't eat in restaurants, day after day, having people spit on you and blow whistles at you, day after day, having all these threats at you day after day, having people trying to interfere with you day after day. They're human. So, we've got to rotate these people, and we've already rotated some. But my main focus now is drawdown based upon the great conversations I've had with your state and local leaders. Again, I'm not a fool. I'm not walking away without seeing this put in place. But I take the word of the people I met with. I think they're honest. And I think they're good brokers, that they want public safety protected. And they also want what's happening in the city to go away. And that's my goal.
Last question in the back.
Similar Newsmax. The new video of Alex Preddy is now circulating. Your reaction to that, and do you think law enforcement could have played a role if, let's say, Minneapolis police were able to respond to that? Have those top law enforcement officials said they'll help or do anything to help these agents who are out here?
I'm not going to comment on any of these shootings. I said from day one, I said on any of these shootings, as a career law enforcement officer, we'll let the investigation roll out, let the investigation play out, and let it go where it goes. I'm not going to come out and make any comments that I think is right, wrong. Do I have an opinion? Yeah, my personal opinion, but I'm not going to share that with you. I'm going to tell you, let the investigation play out and see where it goes. But again, the president, one of the words he said to me when I came up here, he said he didn't want to see anybody die. The less interference, the less rhetoric, the less, I have buried Border Patrol agents and I buried ICE agents throughout my career. And the saddest thing I've ever done is hold a folded flag to a wife or a child. I don't want to see anybody die, even the people we're looking for. I don't want to see anybody die. And despite what people think of Tom Homan, I say a prayer every night that everybody goes home safe. This isn't good. But I think my conversations the last 2.5 days are leading us to a safer community. Let ICE officers operate in the safety and security of a jail more than on the street. I think anybody here with common sense would say it's safer to arrest a public safety threat in the safety and security of a jail. And let me tell you, what is that going to result in? Less collateral arrests. When we go find that bad guy, when we find that bad guy, many times it's with others. Well, guess what? They're in the country illegally. We're going to enforce immigration law. They're coming too. You want less collateral arrest? Less from the jail. But we're going to enforce immigration law. For the people that saying we're here to surrender our authority and the mission of enforcing immigration law, you are wrong. We're going to do target enforcement operations, and we're going to prioritize the public safety threats and national security threats. That is what we're here to do.
Sir, no more questions. Go ahead. No more questions, guys. Thank you.
All right, so it looks like that's it for the press conference there. I'd love to get your opinion. Scale of 1 to 10 in the chat. 1 being you're completely disappointed. 10 being that's what you voted for. Let me know in the chat. Is that what you expected? I think Tom Homan was as cool as a cucumber. I think he came out with a specific message. I appreciated that he didn't read off of oh God, here we go. We got one. We got one. Somebody said minus 100. You literally think that was that bad. Okay, whatever. Okay, I mean, some people would never be happy. I like that he came out. He didn't read off of a teleprompter. He came out with some notes. He came out as cool as a cucumber. I think he didn't get frustrated. He didn't get angry. He listened to the news media try to divide people. There's people in the chat that are black-pilled trying to divide. I see one here. This rat, is he a Democrat? He needs to go. I have no idea who you're talking about. I don't know. I think Tom Homan came out and did exactly what he needed to do. Don't stir it up. Explain what you're going to do. Explain the goals. He called out Keith Ellison. He called out Tim Walz. He called out Jacob Frey. I see a lot of 10s in the chat. I'm happy to see that. And I'm very happy with some of the support for people on the channel. This is a great comment by Man of Many Sorrows. If you're against law and order, you are part of the problem. If you're okay with children being trafficked, you're part of the problem. If you're okay with innocent Americans dying at the hand of illegals, you're part of the problem. Yeah. Here, I'm going to give it to you.
Amen. Hallelujah. And boom shakalaka.
You're absolutely right. I wish the Democrats would have been this passionate about Laken Riley. Thank you, KRO. Tom Common Sense Homan. Absolutely. Prayers for hedge of protection against all ICE. I gave away some free memberships. I would love to know what has prevented Democrats from being as supportive of the innocent citizens that died at the hands of illegal aliens. I would love to know that. If they're this passionate about a dude attacking ICE, where was the passion for Laken Riley? Somebody says it doesn't fit their narrative. Okay. I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't believe it does fit their narrative. And I honestly don't know if we can ever fit the Democrats' narrative. I don't know if you'll ever meet the Democrats' narrative. That's a very good point. They'll have to steal the elections after this BS. Let me ask you this. With what you saw now, what needs to happen for you to consider this a win? What needs to happen for you to consider this a win? I think right now it's an ideology thing. We have to change the minds of some of these people. I believe you combine Trump sending Tom Homan to Minneapolis or Minnesota, and then you throw more fuel on the fire with Tulsi Gabbard raiding the election offices in Atlanta, Georgia. And I believe this is a combination that could really screw the entire plan up for a lot of these people. Just my opinion. Love to get your thoughts on it in the chat. We're waiting on a moment of clarity in progress. I think what you're seeing is a moment of clarity. But I do think, I don't want to give you my opinion on this. I'm going to ask you. My opinion doesn't matter here. Let's do this. Let me put a poll in the chat. I want to get your opinion on the poll. Will the protests get more violent now that Tom Homan is here? Real KRO chimes in at the right time. Win equals less violent protest. No doxing of agents will allow a drawback of ICE. Okay. I don't know what happens next. I really can't figure out what happens next. Do we see an uptick, a surge in arrest? Probably. Are we going to see more violence? I don't know. 60% of you in the chat say the protests are going to get more violent now that Tom Homan's here. Do you think we will see military boots on the ground there? Do you think we're going to see boots on the ground in Minneapolis? Lines are open. I'm going to take some phone calls here this morning. 615-475-7864. Turn the audio down on whatever you're watching on. But let me know what you think. If you live in Minneapolis, do you have more confidence seeing Tom Homan rolling in? Would it take military on the streets to give you more confidence? Let's grab a call right here. Talk to me, line 1. Where you call it? Line 1. Never mind. I guess they didn't understand that. That's okay. Completely okay. I'm okay with that. But let me know, what do you think? Is that what it's gonna take for them to get more action? Are we gonna see boots on the ground? Do we need boots on the ground? Can ICE handle this? Is ICE overwhelmed? Let's go here. Area code 419. What do you got?
Hey, it's Brian from Lime, Ohio.
Brian, what do you got?
Man, ever since Doge went in and they cut off the federal funding to USAID, it's like all these Democrats' heads went straight up their behinds.
What does that have to do with what we're seeing right now after a press conference?
Well, I think, there wasn't that many protests when USAID was in effect. Now that USAID's gone, it's like they all want to cry and moan about something.
So you think all the protests are about USAID, not about illegals? You're all over the place, man. You're all over the place. Thank you for calling. Just be prepared. You're all over the place. It's okay. Don't be nervous. Call back. Feel free. But get your thoughts together when you call. I don't think this is about USAID. Let's go here. Line 2. What do you got, line 2?
Hey, Ben, I just want to say until the media stops their crap, I don't think any of this is ever going to stop. So like in Missouri now, they're pushing for the school students to protest, and it's just going like wildfire in the media for all of them to protest on a certain day.
You think the news media is complicit?
Oh, yeah. And I don't think it'll stop until they get a hold of the media to make it to stop pushing their narrative.
Okay. Thank you for calling. I don't think you can control the media's narrative. It's called free speech, freedom of the press, First Amendment. I don't think you can control the narrative. If that's true, if you control the media, you control what I say. And I'm not taking any notes from anyone. I'm not going to do that. Let's go here. Line 2. What do you got?
Hey, Ben, good morning. It's Grumpy.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I was calling to let you know, you ask if these protests are going to get more violent. They're fixing to double down. They're going to be busting in more. I'm sorry?
You think that the protests are going to get more dangerous?
Oh, I absolutely know so. If you've been watching social media, the leftists and protesters are calling to take up arms and start fighting them, like they're on Call of Duty.
Okay.
It's fixing to ramp up. It's fixing to ramp up a lot more than a lot of people think.
Do you think that is in part or in conjunction with the news media, in conjunction with social media, these people on X that all have a phone and claim to be a member of the press? Do you think that is, if you removed that, if you removed the coverage, do you think it would quell the violence?
I think it would slow it down, but eventually, no, it's just going to find another way to ramp back up.
Okay.
Social media is doing it's fanning a lot of the flames, but.
Okay. I appreciate you calling.
Tom said something in that. Tom said something in his presentation. He says he basically just told everybody, "We know who's funding it, and we're coming after you." I think until these people who are funding these protests their assets are frozen and they're locked up, this is just going to become more and more violent.
Okay, thank you for calling, Grumpy. I appreciate it. Great point. Grumpy absolutely thinks these get more violent. I hope not. I hope Grumpy calls back in a couple of days and says, I was wrong. I hope that's what he does. Thank you for the super chat. For those that don't know, super chats and memberships here on my channel, I help veterans get service dogs. And then I'm also starting to help some veterans get some guitars. And my full-time job, I work helping veterans as a service officer. I'm out sick, had the flu. But I really hope that the violence turns down. I don't know if it will. A lot of people in the chat don't think that it's going to. Let's go right here. What do you got, Troll?
I hope the protests don't get more violent, but it's a good possibility because I'm seeing them more and more often in smaller towns over here in Michigan. Greenville, Michigan is having them. I've seen them in Rockford, Michigan. They're over in Ionia by the prison right there. So they're picking up the amount that maybe not so much in the big cities, but they're spreading out like the plague into smaller areas.
Okay. I appreciate you calling, Troll. Thank you for the update. Troll lives in Michigan. I believe he's a truck driver or a delivery, Amazon. I forget what he does. Maybe a UPS guy. He's out boots on the ground. He's seeing it. Let me ask you this. I don't know if the protests grow in number, but I believe the people protesting have gotten braver. And I think there's a very thin line between bravery and stupidity. And Alex Preddy probably crossed that line. Let's go here. Line 2. What do you got? Line 2. We're going down the scoreboard.
Hey, Ben, Scott from Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I think they're just trying, I think Tom Homan is trying to set a model for how he's going to handle the deportations in all the other states also.
What do you mean? What kind of model is he setting? Fill me in. Maybe I missed that.
I think the way that he's handling this, as far as bringing the amount of people in that he needs and getting the cooperation from the state and local people, I think he wants to transfer that to the other states so he doesn't transfer the violence all around the country.
I believe
he's setting them up to fail if they don't do what he wants to do also.
I believe if this moves into another city like Chicago, that's where the real violence is, because Trende, Aragua, those gangs cut people up with chainsaws. Thank you for calling, Scott in Indiana. Scott and call it out of Indiana. I believe if it goes into some of these inner cities where the gangs are heavily armed, and you know they are, it's going to get worse. It will be an actual battlefield. Right now you have ICE versus some like blue-haired, nose ring, neck beards. But I think it could get way worse. Ex-Twitter employees getting paid to protest? I don't know about that. Insurrection Act's coming? I don't know about that either. Let's go here. Let's start a poll in the chat here. Yeah, here we go. Are all... I'm not going to give you my answer until I see what the poll says. But there's a new poll in the chat. Are the protesters being paid? All of them. Are they all being paid? If so, they should be able to track the money, right? Let's go right here. Line 4. What do you got, line 4?
Greg from Rochester. I think this is all about the game of washing money, fraud. Basically, it started with USAID. We busted that up, and now we're on to their little immigration game, stealing billions of our dollars away. This is like taking food away from a cornered animal. and that animal is the Democratic Party. And what's happening right here is they're resulting to violence just to break away from all that stuff and to shift focus. We have to stay focused, and we need to take down Tampon Tim and Fry Cake Fry. We need to get rid of them.
So you think it's that bad? Do you think Democrats are fighting for their actual life right now?
I think we're taking their money away from them, and they hate that. They hate it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. The money's about to get cut off. As of tomorrow, the government shuts down. February 1st, Trump has said no more money for sanctuary cities.
That's excellent. I live in a sanctuary city right now. I can't wait till they come here and start cleaning house.
Okay. Somebody said head of the snakes, Minnesota. Thank you, sir. Up in did he say Rochester or Winchester? I think he said Rochester. I think he said Rochester. Lines are open. 615-475-7864. Let's see whatever we got here. We got Carrie in Ohio. What do you got, Carrie?
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
You know, I think that Tom Homan is going to do a good job, whatever he does down there. But I truly believe that if they took away the funding, you know, this Chinese people or the American guy that's living in China, that's a billionaire, the Act Blue, the Soros Foundation, take all their money, then the paid protesters are gone. You know, make it a felony for a company to sell a group of protesters that are going to turn violent. You know, if you go after the money, we won't need the Insurrection Act. You know, they aren't going to have money to chase ICE officers. They're going to be able to do their job. That's where it has to go. If it doesn't go there, it's just going to get worse.
So you think all of the protesters are paid?
I think that about 90% of them are paid. Yeah, I really, because you can tell the difference between a protester and a paid agitator and protester. You don't get out there and bang pans. That is agitation at its finest, you know. And I do believe that.
It would take a lot of money to get me outside in minus 10 degrees to do what they're doing.
They say some of the people are making $3,000 a week. I mean, what kind of money would that be? Enough money to get you out there? They're only there for 2 or 3 hours in the night. You know, you see them coming, going in shifts.
Wow. Carrie, I appreciate you calling, man. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay safe. Carrie in Ohio. What percentage of the protesters do you think are paid? Put that in the chat. 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? Let's go here. Line 2. Line 2, the heavy breathing does not turn me on. The heavy breathing does not turn me on. Sorry. Lines are open. 90%? Okay. Line 4. What do you got, line 4?
Hi, Krista in Mountain Air, and I think all these patriots that called have great comments. I don't disagree. However, what they're talking about also is Signalgate. They had thousands working 8 hours a day, and that's what Signalgate is all about. It is the brain of the operation. That's why they weren't showing up after they shut it down. I love Tom Homan. He showed Trump's heart that he was very sad about this death. And
okay.
I think that the Signalgate is in other cities as well, and they're going after it. But without that, they can't communicate.
Okay. So do you think that is still going on? I know this one got caught, but do you think there's another method? They're coordinating everything. Do you really believe that's happening?
They have to create it. It's known that they were using the same old stuff from George Floyd. So they just kept the same lines. They now have to create something entirely new.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Agents of chaos. Agents of chaos, I believe, is what we're being alluded to here. Somebody's pulling the strings. And I know everybody blames George Soros, but I'd love to find out who's really pulling the strings. Let's go here. Line 5. What do you got, line 5?
Rick from Michigan.
What do you got, Rick?
These guys here that are marching, did I hear something about it yesterday that when they find these people, they're going to get insurrectioned like J6ers? I don't know how to word it, but
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I haven't. I haven't.
I thought I
tracked
heard
that.
something about that yesterday. I mean, these people are actually doing what J6ers were blamed for doing. You know what I mean? These people are insane.
Is what you're seeing on the streets in Minneapolis, is this worse than January 6th?
By, I don't know, 100 times worse because it's real.
Why didn't
The other
the
one was
Democrat
just a
Party?
show.
Why didn't the Democrat Party care about Ashley Babbitt the same way they care about this? Alex
Absolutely.
Petty?
And whatever happened to the guy that shot Babbitt?
He owns a daycare. Him and his wife own a daycare in Washington,
Yeah.
D.C.
No, go figure.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I want to talk to you about this guitar thing. I've got a beautiful acoustic guitar.
Shoot me an email. Shoot me an email. Okay. Shoot me an
Okay.
email. We'll talk offline about it. I really appreciate it. There we go. Guitars for Vets. I'm using a lot of money from the super chats to get guitars and provide for some veterans. There's a VA retirement home here where I live. I've given away 2 guitars there to a couple of, one's a Korean War veteran and the other is a Vietnam vet, both in a wheelchair. So I try to pay it forward. Trying to pay it forward. I sound horrible. Sound like Froggy from the Little Rascals. You know what show that was. You had a good childhood. Lines are open. 615-475-7864. Let me know what you're thinking. I think all congressmen should wear body cams. Never happen. I would love it. I would rather them wear an outfit like NASCAR with patches from where they're getting all their funding. That's what I would like to see. Let's go, Ed, Poplar Bluff, Missouri. What do you got, Ed?
Hey, man, nice to hear from you. Love your show. And I think these people paying these paid protesters, which you know pretty much who they are in too deep to stop. And they're going to keep going until they actually do go down. And watch these Democrats when Trump shuts the government down tomorrow. Or not Trump shuts it down, I'm sorry, when Democrats shut down the government tomorrow. Watch these Democrats lose their composure because they're not getting the money. And watch how evil they get much worse.
I think you could be right, Ed. I really appreciate the phone call. You bring up a very solid point. The combination of Tom Homan rolling into town and the government getting shut down could really change the whole dynamic. You shut down the government and you kill funding to the sanctuary cities. Because most of these people protesting are probably on EBT or whatever. You know, they probably are. What's the email? What is the email for? If you want to contact me, you can email me. That's typically how people contact each other. veteranbiker1@protonmail.com. If you want to sign up to help for the Guitars for Vets, I put the link there to the email. But I think Tom Homan rolling in on top of the government shutdown, Democrats are now going to try to scare everyone saying they're taking food away.
Think of the children. No, stop. Think of the children.
Think of the children gets the new narrative because all these protesters have children, right? Think of Renee Dumb. She had children. DC Power. Let me give you that.
Amen.
Thank you.
Hallelujah. And boom shakalaka.
DC Power 777 for the vets. $50 super chat. Real KRO, 50% self-funded. Many have careers. 50% funded by outside players. I agree with that. I believe that this Alex Preddy was getting paid. And it's a damn shame. The Democrats wanted Bovino out. I don't believe they wanted Tom Homan in. You have to be careful what you wish for because sometimes you might get it. And I think they got what they didn't want. Oh, Peretti quit his job? I didn't know that. I didn't know that he quit his job. Wow, okay. That changes a whole, I wasn't aware of that. The sanctuary cities losing funding could very well cause all of this to crop up in new cities. Let me show you this. I ran across this clip, and I think that this could really, well, you've all probably watched The Big Lebowski, how it could all tie the room together. Listen to what she says. This is amazing that they are this dumb. They are this dumb.
That is something that Republicans and Democrats agree on right now, because I don't think anybody looks at what's happening in Minneapolis and says, "Oh, this is just fine."
Other than Scott,
I mean, look, you can blame it. Listen, you can blame it on
a minute ago. You just said Minneapolis,
sanctuary
everything
cities.
is fine.
I said Minneapolis is
because
not
of the
fine.
agitation.
Minneapolis is not the only sanctuary jurisdiction.
But it's
in
the only
America.
city in chaos.
It is not the only.
Because of ISIS overwhelming force.
It's the only city that has
overwhelming force by ISIS.
It's the only city.
Hold on, is it the only sanctuary city in America?
No, but it's the only city in chaos.
Is it the only place where ICE has 3,000 forces?
Tim Walz is governor.
Yes.
The only city where Tim Walz is governor. Really?
Minnesota is the only state with walls.
Okay.
Minneapolis is the only city with Fry.
Listen, Minneapolis is not the only sanctuary city. There are sanctuary
I didn't say that it
jurisdictions
was.
all across the country. The only thing that is different about Minneapolis
They have
is that
Fry.
Trump sent
They have walls.
3,000 ICE agents there. That's the only thing.
And yet they won't
cooperate.
cooperate.
He brings up a good point that they have Fry and they have walls. But I can think of a number of other sanctuary cities that are just as dumb, maybe dumber. I mean, think of Chicago. The mayor of Chicago is an absolute loon. I mean, he's dumber than Beetlejuice. Remember when they had Beetlejuice? I forget her real name. Lori Bigfoot or whatever her name was. Beetlejuice. I don't remember her real name. But these sanctuary cities are dangerous. And which sanctuary city? Somebody said, oh yeah, Mercado Media was crying yesterday about being doxxed. He doxxed me. I probably had 200 phone calls to my office because of Mercado Media. So that guy can go to hell. That guy can completely go to hell. Lines are open, 615-475-7864. Which sanctuary city is next? Chicago? San Francisco? New York? I think New York could get crazy. I think Chicago could get crazy. I think New Orleans could get crazy. Austin, Texas could get crazy. Let's go to Bobby in Tennessee. What do you got, Bobby?
Hey, it's Bobby in Mississippi today. I'm down for my daughter's wedding.
Bobby in Mississippi.
On the coast. Listen, for some strange reason, the way that they all coordinate, I think all these cities erupt at the same time.
Really? You think that would be planned? A planned chaos eruption at the same time?
Absolutely. I mean, what's the plan? Create so much chaos, overwhelm the system, and that's how they operate. I think every one of these sanctuary cities erupts all at the same time. And I don't think they're all getting paid. I think maybe 20%, because if you pay attention, there are certain leaders in these groups telling these people, don't do that, wait, do this. They're getting paid, but the other morons have been brainwashed through college and everything else. They'll do it for free because they think they're going to gain something by destroying America. They think they're going to come out on top when they're just going to turn around and get killed by the same people they're working with.
I think you got a lot of people agreeing with you, Bobby in Mississippi, and that just sounds weird saying it. Bobby, you take care. Stay out of trouble, brother. Be good.
Yes, sir. All right.
Nancy brings up a good point. Los Angeles The Olympics are coming. I didn't think about that. The Olympics are on their way. The World Cup is coming as well. Florida in general, I don't think anybody's going to protest in Florida. I think they're getting bolder in Texas. Colorado is FIFA. Yeah, the World Cup. Absolutely. I think it could, if all of these things were to kick off at the exact same time. Let's just do a little bit of what if. Because I firmly believe, and I've made it very well known, that I believe these protesters would turn on America in a second. I think about 50% of them would fight with an invading force. Joe says Olympics and World Cup soft targets. Yes. I believe they would turn on American citizens in the name of Palestine, in the name of Ukraine, in the name of whatever. Ron says you're right. I don't want to be right. State militias, good luck. New Orleans is a S-hole as corrupt as ever. I've heard that. FIFA gonna be FAFO. I hope I'm wrong. Let's go here. Paratrooper, what do you got, Paratrooper?
Hey, Ben, don't think for a minute these guys aren't organized, because I know they're stupid and brainwashed, but they are definitely organized. The people that are paying them are putting this all together, and they are an organized terrorist group. Just like a terrorist cell, they are organized, and it is nationwide.
I agree. We have overlooked their organization because of their stupidity, because of the blue hair and the nose rings.
Mm-hmm. They look ridiculous, and we think of them ridiculously, but don't think for a minute they're not organized. We see it every time because they all come out with the same signs, and these signs are higher quality than most people can slap together that.
They do produce the signs in minutes. It seems like minutes they've got a new sign with a new name on it.
Yeah, they're duplicates, and they're all the same, and they're of much higher quality than they would be if you just tore up a cardboard box in your home and wrote a bunch of stuff on it and ran out on the street corner,
Yeah. Paratrooper, I appreciate you calling. Thank you, sir. Great. They're very well organized. Do not let their looks or their blue hair fool you. They're organized. They are organized. We've seen it. Lines are open, 615-475-7864. If you want to get your comments in, feel free to call. We got about 3,500 people watching on various platforms. We're streaming on X, Kick, Rumble, Facebook. I still say Twitter. Maybe I said X. U-Haul trucks are unloading the signs. Sadly, you're right. Sadly, you are right. And I believe the protest could very well get more violent. I don't want them to, but I think they could. Let's go here. 907. Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Yes. Hey, this is Barlin from North Pole, Alaska. Down in Washington, Chehalis and all that, the school teachers and all are getting the kids together to protest and all that. All over in Washington is doing that.
You're in Alaska right now.
Yeah, I'm in North Pole, Alaska, right out of sight of Fairbanks.
Not a lot of protesters in Alaska, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes, they are. There's lots of them. They
Really?
got out there and when it was 40 below and they were protesting.
In Alaska?
Yes.
Do you have a problem with a lot of illegals in Alaska?
Not really the illegals so much there, but they're protesting for them.
In Alaska?
Yes.
What?
Oh yeah,
in
we
the hell?
got our wonderful Murkowski there, and she got Alaska, you should look into it, how they got their voting system. It's really a weird setup they got.
I
If you
had
vote,
no idea anybody would be protesting in Alaska.
oh yes, yes, yep. Anchorage has lots of a lot of big stuff there.
Wow. Well, thank you for calling from Alaska. You stay warm. I appreciate you.
You bet.
God
Bye.
bless you. Did anybody have protesters in Fairbanks, Alaska? The last place I would think an illegal alien would want to go would be Alaska. Who knew? No kidding. Super chat, real KRO. They're protesting, not violent, though. They don't dare step off the sidewalk. I bet not. Trump's winning strategy: expose corruption, put leadership off balance, send Pitbull Bovina to play bad cop. Oh, replace Homan as the good cop. Is that? Tell me this is no. Does anybody agree with that? Good cop, bad cop, Bovino, Homan? Do you need more proof? Alaska. I never would have guessed people would be protesting in Alaska. Lines are open. 615-475-7864. Right there. You can call in, share your opinion. Shock me. Because I'm shocked now hearing that there were protests in Alaska. 40 below. Who sang the song 40 Below? Got a heater in my truck. Oh, you know what? Off to the rodeo. Who sang that? Line 2. What do you got, line 2?
All right. If you can convince somebody that a man can become a woman, you can convince somebody of anything. And I think our biggest problem we have are our schools.
I have said it before. We are the only nation to allow our enemies to teach our children.
Yeah, and until that's addressed, I think we're all in deep shit.
Do you think that the Democrat Party aligns with people that have mental problems?
I think they use people that have mental problems. I think they're communists. I think this is funded by our enemies to destroy our country and has been done for a long time.
You know, that is a very good point. If you can convince someone that a dude could have a baby, you can convince them to do anything you want for your benefit. That is a very good point.
Well, until we bring the Pledge of Allegiance back to our schools and take our system and our schools back, we're in a lot of hurt, and we really haven't addressed that. And
What
all these
state do you
problems
live
we're
in?
having, I live in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So, but
I've
go ahead.
I've got a friend that lives in New Berlin, Wisconsin, and he's not far off about that as well. He's not far off about what you're saying as well.
Yeah, he's my neighbor.
Mm.
I live in Big Bend. We're a couple miles away.
Okay. I appreciate you calling. A lot of people in the chat say the caller's exactly right. If you can convince a dude, or that convince people that a dude could have a baby, you can convince them of anything. Thank you for a call. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ben. Bye.
God bless you. What a solid point. Asphalt Man, you pissed me off. Thank you, Asphalt Man. I love it. Thank you so much. That is so true. I'd never looked at it from that sort of weird perspective. You're probably not wrong. Let's go line 2. What do you got, line 2?
Hey, you've heard the name Neville Roy Singham.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we were talking about who's funding it. He's funding the Signal Gate thing. But don't you think he's funding everything else?
I would love to see real evidence that that's the fact. And I don't doubt it. I don't doubt you one bit.
Well, yeah, Cam Higby is the guy that got on that, right?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm glad he did. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
You bet, man.
Great call. Great call. Thank you very much. Lines are open, 615-475-7864. Yuri Bezmenov tried to warn us 50 years ago. Listen to the interview. I have. I'm sure most of you have it all as well. Look at the parents also. I don't know if there's a whole lot of parents right now. Oh, wow. Here we go. No King's Day. March 28th is expecting 40 million protesters. 40 million on No King's Day. And you tell me that's not going to be dangerous? Let's pull that up. No King's Day, March 2026. Right in time for primaries in most states. Let's go here. Line 2. What do you got, line 2?
Hi, this is Giovanna from
Yes,
Florida.
ma'am.
Hi. I think that Signal is extremely dangerous. And I just looked it up. It says that it's owned by Signal Foundation, a nonprofit.
What is dangerous about a messaging app?
After seeing Cam Hibby's video, that's how they're communicating. Do you think that a lot of them are like veterans? Because they're really good.
I use Signal. I don't think a messaging app is dangerous. That's like blaming the car manufacturer for a DUI. I don't think you can do that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't think you, or that's blaming the paper for, the nasty stuff with children on it.
Okay, but do you think that maybe, is there a way that the administration can get info on what these people are saying?
Well, the previous administration was really good about doing this illegally. The Biden administration, the Obama administration used what they call FISA warrants, which were not legal. But when you start tapping into people's messaging randomly, you break the law. And that's what the previous administration did. I don't believe the messaging app is the problem. I believe what we're seeing right now is an ideology. It is an ideological problem. And they're going to learn to communicate on whatever, whether it's from PlayStation, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, whatever. I don't think Signal is the problem. It's the ideology. But thank you for calling. I appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. Out of Florida. Let's go here. I want to see what's next for, what is the, let's go, No King's Day, March 2026. 40 million people are planning. Holy crap. Look at this. Would you look at this? This is what's coming. No King's protest scheduled for March 28th with a flagship event in Minneapolis. They will destroy that city. Minneapolis does not stand a chance. 3,000 ICE agents do not stand a chance. You will need the full force of the United States military to hold back 40 million protesters around the United States. You haven't seen violence yet. You have not seen anything yet. Ben, you should look in the top 10 richest families. You'll see where a lot's coming from. It's not just Soros. One of the Waltons, she funds it. At Home with Tom and Rhonda, we got a text message yesterday. Invitation to No King's Day. We laughed, reported it as spam. They are way too bold. Let me give you that. $100 super chat. Tom and Rhonda are both nurses.
Amen.
Thank you, Tom and Rhonda.
Hallelujah. And boom shakalaka.
Wow. Woman always goes communist. Get rid of Signal. Yes, Signal is the problem. I think he's just picking on you. Thank you, Tom and Rhonda, for the $100 super chat. Let's grab a couple more calls. No Kings 2028. 40 million protesters. Peaceful protesters, right? All peaceful. Line 2. Go right ahead, line 2.
Yes, this is Chris from Hope, Arkansas.
Yeah, good morning, Chris.
With the whole Signal thing, I think that I don't think you should get rid of Signal, but I think that there are grounds there for a huge RICO case.
On the platform or the people that set it up?
On the people that are involved in the chat.
Okay.
On
gotcha.
all of the different individuals that are involved in that.
Uh-huh.
I think there's grounds for. I do think that the whole Ilhan Omar thing, that was 100% staged.
You believe it was staged?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Ain't no two ways about it. And man, the more stuff that comes out, they're showing you exactly how all this stuff, like the whole new video of Peretti attacking and kicking the SUV and attacking the officers, and which I know that was a few days before, but the Democrats have overplayed their hand, and I believe it's going to cost them dearly. And I believe that's the reason for Tim Walz's sudden, oh, I'm going to work with you, and I think he's trying to get some type of a plea deal.
Is there anything that comes out right now that surprises you? Is there anything that surprises you that we're learning?
Not a single solitary thing.
I'll tell you this. If Trump would have not beaten Hillary Clinton, we would know none of this.
No, we would know absolutely, and we would probably be a third world country by this point in time, or be World War III and nothing be left.
We would know none of this. If Hillary Clinton would have won, we would not know any of what's happening right now.
100% correct. And, I see, and I'm the biggest Trump supporter there is, but there are some things like him talking about bringing guns to protest and stuff like that. I don't support that. I believe, hey, if the man was there and he had 10 extra clips, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's our Second Amendment right. But the difference in him and Kyle Rittenhouse is how he acted in the presence of law enforcement. If the man would have acted like Kyle Rittenhouse, thrown his hands up, said, hey, I'm here observing or whatever, he would still be alive today.
Okay. I agree. I think he made a choice and it cost him his life no matter what happened. Take it, Chris in Hope, Arkansas. I agree. You're going to be dumb, be strong, I guess. I wear a helmet. Life's tough. If Hillary would have won, we wouldn't know any of this. If Kamala Harris would have won, we wouldn't know any of this. Do you think it's coincidence? Line 2. What do you got, line 2?
Good morning, Ben, and everyone in the chat. I have two little thoughts here.
Sure.
The gentleman that was saying that he thought everybody would erupt in all of these sanctuary cities and crazy cities around the country. I'm going, my little brain went, okay, go for it. The Insurrection Act can be imposed. The military can go in and clean them up all at once. And if say during the shutdown, take away the damn security detail for all of these people for just a month. They'll keep their butts home, quit running their stupid mouths, and they get to try to live like the rest of us. That's just my thought.
Do you think if they put military on the street, there'll be real bloodshed on the street?
It's a possible, because you can't predict people's things, what they do. We really are in a kind of a war of truth and lies, and I don't know. The bloodshed happening already. I don't know if all at once, if it could be the mass majority cleaned up, if the military was deployed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a thought.
Well, thank you for calling. I appreciate you. God bless you. If No King's Day really has a turnout of 40 million people, if the No Kings protest has 40 million protesters, the National Guard will be overwhelmed. There is no National Guard unit that could withstand. I mean, think about how many of you know someone in the National Guard in your town. And there's maybe 80 people, 100 in one of the National Guard armories, 200. And most of them are not trained for riot control. And then you turn loose 5,000 protesters in whatever city you live in. 808 area code. I know where that is. Talk to me. What you got? You got good weather where you're at.
Hi.
Good morning. You're on the
Am I on?
show. Yes, ma'am. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, I've never called before. I'm sorry.
Feel
I'm
free.
a
What would you
little
like to
nervous,
say?
But what I wanted to bring up is that, to me, I see this framing from a 40,000 foot view of this whole insurrection kind of talk, starting starting a long time ago, but with the Seditious Six, they kind of got into the frame of mind that affected our military, I believe, bringing in this uncertainty to some of them. And then with what has happened in Minneapolis, this has turned into a confederacy to me. What makes me think that is all of the evidence that we just got about the level of involvement and the military precision of the operation on the signal chat, which shows government involvement. In other words, from basically the governor's office on down, this is a coordinated resistance to ICE enforcement.
I
And
think
so
it
to
borders
me,
on
they are
treason.
building an army almost. And this is spreading across the country as you see more and more mayors of these blue cities starting to talk the same way.
I'll tell you what.
So to me, this is the beginning of something that needs to be interrupted immediately.
I'm going to interrupt you right here. I'm going to interrupt you right here. The mayors, I agree, are part of the problem. The problem that scares me the most are the teachers, because they are convincing their kids in the classes to ditch school and go. And then you've got a kid.
Yes, that is.
Hold on.
This is what I mean.
Don't cut me off.
There's a whole movement developing, and it's gathering steam. You can feel it.
Okay, I didn't cut you off.
See it in not only one area or one venue, it's being infiltrated into every sector of society, from government, military, schools, everything.
All right. I'm going to slow you down. I didn't cut you off. I've let you talk. The problem is the school teachers. The teachers are coordinating this. Thank you so much for the call, and I really appreciate that. And I saw the 808 area code, so I know you're Hawaii, and I know that you've got good weather. So thank you so much. You sound like a sweetheart.
I'm very lucky.
And you're just as worried as I am. You are just as worried.
See, here's the thing, Ben. I was born and raised in Minneapolis.
Oh, my God. So you know.
So this is why I'm so concerned and upset. And I understand the giving nature and the salt of the earth people in Minneapolis. And they had good intentions.
Well, thank you for calling.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thanks
Stay
for
tuned
taking
into the
my
show.
call.
Yes, ma'am. You call back anytime. You're a sweetheart. I miss Hawaii. I was there for a little while whenever I was during my Navy career. It is. It's pitiful. The mayors are one thing. I think the school teachers are the biggest problem. They are the ones that have the kids all day. That's what I think. I think they're the people that are more complicit, are the teachers, because they're going to tell their kids to go protest. The schools will probably shut down on March the 28th. Is that a school day? What is March the 28th? Is that a Saturday? March 28th, 2026. They'll probably give them the day off. March the 28th is a Saturday. Okay. No King's Day. It's coming up. The ACLU is posted it on their page. Wow. Okay. It's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. And I don't know how you handle 40 million protesters nationwide. I don't know how you handle it. Talk to me, line 4. What do you got,
Hi,
line
Ben.
4?
It's Teresa from Minnesota. How you doing?
Great.
Good. Just wanted to say that I had heard that they're doing this protest stuff in Minnesota to, what's going on with Tim Walz and all the fraud and stuff. They're trying to get away from that. What's your opinion on that?
It's a good distraction. Very good distraction. It takes all the attention away from the money. Nobody's talking about the Leering Center. Nobody's talking about the fraud. Nobody's talking about any of that.
Yeah.
They just made Ilhan Omar a martyr, squirting her with some cat piss or whatever. And
right.
It's a martyr. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you. God bless you. God bless you out of Minnesota. Lines are open. 615-475-7864. Feel free to give me a call. Love to pick your brain. Let's see here. Here are the laws they broke. Okay. If I've got some laws here. Oh, let's go here. We got a Arkansas area code. Talk to me, Arkansas. What do you got, Arkansas?
Yeah. I just want to let you know that I listen to your show all the time, which doesn't matter. But I think we're going to have a lot of problems from the blue states. I think red states, you're not going to get a lot of problems. And I'll end this with, you can only kick a dog so long, and that dog's going to bite back. And the good old boys of this country, and there's a bunch of them. And I'm just an old one.
What part of Arkansas do you live in?
I live in Fort Smith.
Okay. I'm in Fayetteville. Fayetteville's very liberal. Right. University, right? Yeah. I live in the outskirts. But you're so right.
Well, good for you. It's just common sense in this country is just went. I don't know. It's just went nuts, and I just don't know where the people went that has common sense to know that why would we want criminals and people who destroy people's lives and rape little girls and all the stuff that they're doing. I won't bring all that stuff up because it's so horrid it's unbelievable. That doesn't seem to bother them. What bothers them is the people that are in here stealing our money, stealing our funds, people that really need it, really need the help, are not getting it. They're not concerned about that. It's just insanity.
Here's my opinion, and I've got a really good buddy lives in Rudy, And him and I talk about this all the time. He's a retired railroader. And him and I talk about this all the time because he's seen the back country on a railroad. It's not the major cities. We expect it out of the big, large cities. But like you said, when you see a little protest pop up in Harrison or Mountain Home or something like that, you don't expect it. But those people have assimilated and started latching on. I mean, you know as well as I do, most people don't. Little Rock is one of the most violent cities in America, and nobody talks about it. But the people protesting are just, they have been manipulated. The people that they're protesting for are laughing at them. They are useful idiots. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Fort Smith, Arkansas. He's about 50 miles south of me. They're useful idiots. They have become useful idiots, the people protesting. And I don't mean to insult anyone that's a protester in the chat, but if you're protesting against law enforcement, you're retarded. Why do these protesters care more about criminal migrants than they do about American citizens? I don't know. I can't figure it out. Lines are open. 615-475-7864. Let's go right here. Oh, we got a line 3. What do you got, line 3?
Magadittos, Ben.
What you up to, buddy?
Not a whole lot. I wanted to let you know I really agree with your concept. The late great L. Rushbo, he referred to schools as schools, and there was a reason for it. Abraham Lincoln said the philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. Something like that.
Yeah. The schools are the problem. The schools are the problem because you know as good as I do, the week leading up to the No Kings protest, the teachers are going to encourage all of their kids, hey, go protest. Tell your mom and dad, go protest. You know they're going to do it. I mean, that's just the way it happens. These teachers are the damn problem. That's my opinion. And until somebody proves me wrong, it'll be my opinion. You know, it's just strange. It's weird. And we're the only country in the world. Go ahead.
You use the word encourage, the teachers will encourage them. I think that's the wrong word. Indoctrinate is what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing that happens, you and I go to work. Men and women around the country go to work. They send their kids to school to be educated, not to be indoctrinated. And that's the problem. Our country has allowed the people that hate this country to teach our children. We are allowing the enemy to teach our children. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
I think he was out of East Texas, I believe. Let's go here. I want to show you something. I think this might prove my point. This is a clip that Rush, the El Rushbo, it's just so true. It resonates so true. It's timeless with what he says here.
We have an emergency. This is an invasion. The very existence and definition of American culture, American society, the rule of law. Why does nobody talk about the fact that millions and millions and millions of people are breaking the law, coming here illegally, and that the Democrat Party wants that to happen? We can't have the breakdown of rule of law and law and order this way. That alone would suggest that this has gone on way too long and needs to stop it. The argument about where drugs come into the country, can anybody deny that they're coming in and it needs to be stopped and it's destroying future generations of the country? We're so caught up in the game of how Washington debates issues. Is this a fact? Is that not a fact? It is undeniable that we have a major immigration problem and a political party that needs a permanent underclass of voters that wants that parade of illegal people who are uneducated, don't even speak the language. They want them here. We have it.
He nails it. The Democrat Party relies on low information voters. You can't deny it. Anyone with any level of common sense, anyone that knows how to wipe their own butt, realizes that they are out to lunch. I just don't know how anyone can't figure it out. But on March 28th, you're going to see 40 million people. You're going to see 40 million retards destroying America. You're going to see it. There's no way around it. Let me show you this one. This one goes way back. We're going into my archives with this one. We're going into the archives. But I keep all these archived. I've got them all.
What is the problem you have with liberals?
Well, they're
Why do you
wrong.
dislike
They
them so
are
much?
dangerous. Liberals, I believe, have destroyed or in the process of destroying the culture of this country. If you look at what liberal prescriptions for welfare, they have only expanded the number of people that are on welfare rolls. Liberalism destroys individual lives. Liberalism creates dependency on purpose. Liberalism operates in the guise of wanting to help people, but it actually condemns them to dependency.
I want to go back to the issue.
It is the opposite of compassion. And they own this compassion. They think they've got a monopoly on it. And there's nothing compassionate about liberalism. It hurts people. It harms them.
You're seeing it right now. Somebody, I love this comment. I love this one. They don't have 40 million people. Really? So 40 million people didn't vote against Trump. Really? Are you that out to lunch? Are you ignoring that? More than 40 million people voted against Trump. And you're going to see a lot of them on No King's Day, March 28th. If you are that oblivious, you might be part of the problem. You very well could be part of the problem if you believe that there's not 40 million people plus that hate the president. And when you go protest, you're not protesting anything. You're just going out and expressing your hate. That's it. Let's just go sing songs and destroy cities. Lines are open. What do you got? Line 5.
Hey, I got family that actually lives in Flagstaff, and way back when they would make fun of people until they had kids that turned into the people they made fun of. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
What do you mean by that? I don't know. I don't know how, how we're framing that.
Well, made fun of transgender, gays, till they had a transgender kid and a gay. I mean, they went through the school system up there. And, I mean, there's a long history of how bad they are, but I can't think of all of it. You know, you can't have Thanksgiving with them because they say little snarky things that I don't even know what they're talking about half the time. But they can't just be civil. They got to try and pick fights because they turned hardcore somehow. And you have to think the way they think. Well, I just prefer not to be around them. And they went to the last No Kings rally, which I think is kind of funny. I don't even know what that means. So Flagstaff is a small college town, and that's what they breed.
I agree with you there. I agree with you. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. The tolerant left is not tolerant. The tolerant left is not tolerant. They will separate you from your family. They're not tolerant. Lines are open. 615-475-7864. Let's go to line 6. What do you got, line 6?
Am I line 6?
You are. Let's go.
Oh, Ben, what a pleasure. Okay, so if these protesters are being paid, doesn't that make them mercenaries?
I think I think the people paying them are race pimps. They are chaos pimps. They're no better than, I don't know, Al Sharpton. And I think the people that are being paid and taking the money, they're basically prostitutes, you know?
Well, I don't think I'd want sex from any one of them.
They're paying for a service. They're providing it. And I agree with you. Absolutely.
Make them mercenaries, man.
I think it makes them traitors. I think they're taking up, this Alex Preddy took up arms against the United States, right?
Yeah.
He had a gun. I think he took up arms against a federal agent.
Dumb.
Let me ask you this.
I've gotten him.
Riddle me this. If a federal agent would have been shot and killed, would the left be celebrating right now, or would they be protesting for the federal agent?
Oh, no, they'd be celebrating.
They'd be dancing on the headstone. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you. They would absolutely be celebrating. You know it as well as I do. Let's see here. We could take a couple more calls before I got to get out of here. My throat's killing me. Let's go right here. Line 5. What do you got, line 5?
Hello, Ben. Just give you I'm Dan from Idaho, Navy veteran. My opinion is what I'm seeing is it's a divide and conquer strategy. And it doesn't matter what you believe. The end result's going to be people in the streets and data centers.
Okay. I could see that.
I think we're getting caught in this red and blue stuff, and purple's running it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
My thought is this is all to divide everyone, and they're even doing it within MAGA. Or within the conservative movement. You have some conservative channels that get on their channels every day and just talk about all of the negative stuff. And it's contagious. Negativity is contagious. And I get literally 50 nasty emails a day because I try to point out some of the positive stuff. It's disgusting.
It's the polarization's incredible right now, and it is coming from the schools.
I agree. Thank you for calling, sir. I really appreciate your time. Navy vet out of Idaho. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Great call. Let me run through some of these super chats here. If you want to help the channel out, I would really appreciate it. A lot of the money I get from super chats and memberships, I use to help veterans with their service dogs and even get guitars for vets. Demon of Cybertron, the more pirates we deport, the better the chances we get Mike Lindell in office. I agree with that. Josie, $2 super chat. Thank you, Josie. Ashley became a member. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Memberships is what keeps the channel alive because YouTube hates us. Pure Blood, Trump is deporting. They're fake voters. Yeah, they are. Cassandra, $10. Thank you, Cassandra. This guy right here, Save Act is common sense. That's why it's not common. Dina, thank you for bringing the Boom Shakalaka daily. 9-month member. We had a baby. There we go. Man of Many Sorrows, new member. KRO with the 5. I gave away some memberships. KRO, Tom Common Sense Homan. Call him the Tominator. Sin. Prayers for hedge of protection around all ICE and federal agents. Absolutely. Man of Many Sorrows. If you're against law and order, you're part of the problem. I agree. Real KRO, welcome to the new members. If you've got a membership, go and if you became a member today, I challenge you, become a member. It's 10 cents a day. 10 cents. It's $3 a month. It's not even the cost of a soy latte or mocha chocolate, whatever the hell you're drinking. Thank you, Ben. Enjoy your show. Give Fred and Daisy a hug. I'm going to take them out in a few minutes. I will make sure I do that. Ron, $5. Real KRO, thank you. 50% self-funded. Many have careers, and 50% funded by outside players. Talking about the protesters. DC Power for the vets. Thank you. Zebra with a $1. I hope that was a clean dollar. Thank you. I live in Central East Coast. They're protesting, not violent enough. Yeah, Florida, they're not getting off the sidewalk. Trump's winning strategy, expose corruption, put leadership off balance. I agree. Grumpy. Ben, you should look into the top 10 richest families. I will definitely do that. Let's see here. We got a text message yesterday about the protest. No Kings. If they get 500,000, I'll donate 100 for the dogs. Jim, I guarantee you they get more than 500,000 protesters. Bovino's Border Patrol, he's back to California. Good. Resist, group's computers were hacked. Info on X. Wow, okay. Retro Brill, I'll wager next one is named Deal or something similar. I don't know what that means. And Hound Lover, they have millions of dead people voting. Yeah, they do. Guys, gals, girls, this is the Ben Dyke Show. I really appreciate y'all tuning in, turning into a great live stream. I'm back to work tomorrow. My voice is coming back. I'll catch you on the next one.